Excuse me, sir.
Please come in.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
a seat.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Venkateshwaran.
Thank you, sir.
Please sit down. You are dressed for the occasion. And you work in IB.
Yes, sir.
I have not asked questions on IB because you work in IB. Okay. You did the experimental study on navigational buoy with neon. Tell me something about what type of navigational buoy and what way it is different, this project.
Sir, what I meant that navigation buoy, sir, it is India's first indigenous navigation buoy with respect to India, sir. Earlier, the navigational buoy, what we used to do, sir, it's an imported one from the Chinese, sir, and also from the other Southeast Asian nations, sir. It costs around 20 lakhs, sir. So the imported buoys usually work on the solar power, sir, coupled with the battery, sir. So what we did, sir, we tried to incorporate the ocean wave energy and try to compare the pneumatic efficiency from the ocean wave energy and convert into electrical energy, sir. So this since is for India's first indigenous one, sir. I proudly felt, sir, it was a very occasion to put in front of that, sir. And with respect to NAOD, sir, NAOD did the computational modeling part, sir. And I, with respect to the Anna University Chennai, sir, we did the experimental part, sir. We scaled down the model and we did the experiment, sir. Later, sir, the project was incorporated in various international forums, sir, presented by NAOT, and also is published in the Springer manual, sir.
Okay, then finally, at what stage it is?
Now we have implemented across the 7,500 kilometers of coastline, sir. This incorporates both offshore and also near the inshore, like near shore of the coastline, sir.
What
for
is
navigation,
the cost differential?
Sir, the imported buoys cost around 20 lakhs, sir. So this costs 30% less, sir.
Oh,
so
okay.
12 to 15%, sir.
Okay. What happens when you station it in areas where there is no wave? Because you are depending entirely on the waves.
Yes, sir.
Energy has to be generated.
Yes, sir.
Suppose there are no waves in that.
Sir, usually navigation buoy will be deployed since it is an wave pod, sir. It will be deployed in any wave generating surfaces, sir. So if there is any still water for that chance, sir, actually solar powered or other than that battery will be used, sir.
Oh, the standby is also there.
Yes, sir. Depending upon the circumstances and purposes, sir.
Okay, okay. You are interested in security issues. Tell me in brief the security threats which we face in all our borders. In all our borders.
All over board. Could you take a minute, sir?
Yes.
Sure, sir. Sir, with respect to the southern border, sir, we have maritime boundary with respect to Sri Lanka, sir. So the rising issues, sir, the drug trafficking. Apart from that, sir, illegal, unregulated, and unrestricted fishing, sir. One of the threats, sir. And with respect to the western border, we have international land boundary with Pakistan, sir. So recent historical evidences and occasions of state-sponsored terrorism, sir, and including, sir, the drug trafficking from the death crescent, sir, with respect to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, sir. And with respect to China, sir, where we have a long boundary, the occasions of the penetration of the various army insurgency, army presence in the region, where we have various land border issues, one of the security threats in that region, sir. And with respect to the other regions of Myanmar, sir, we have the refugee issues, sir, coupled with drug trafficking and also the insurgencies in the region, sir. With respect to the Bangladesh, where we have where is one of the largest land border, the issues of refugees and also are coupled with other insurgency movements here to and fro across the borders is one of the issues. So, with respect to Nepal and Bhutan, sir, we have cordial relations with them. But with respect to the other issues, there are human trafficking, wherein India uses a transit point with respect to other Nepal and Bhutan, sir.
Do we have borders with Afghanistan?
Sir, we don't have borders with Afghanistan, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Venkateshwaran, welcome. And there is a multi-dimensional poverty. There is a global multi-dimensional poverty index. And recently, India also made its own multi-dimensional poverty index by NITI Aayog. What is this multi-dimensional poverty? Can you mention what are the dimensions?
Sir, multidimensional poverty refers to the various parameters like living standard coupled with health and also other sort of education parameters. Since it is perceived that poverty has various multifaceted, like not only income, it also includes the standards of living. Also, it also includes the variety of malnutrition, also access to education. So, since these parameters are clubbed together to find the actual level of poverty in a region, it is called multidimensional poverty index.
Very good. I appreciate your answer. There, the education is a very important component. What are the sub-topics under the education being taken for consideration?
Sir, the sub-components with respect to education includes the school attendance, sir, mean years of schooling, sir. These are all the parameters, sir.
It's actually not been school attendance, dropout, right?
Dropout, right?
Dropout.
Great.
So can you tell me, you have mentioned about the standard of living. In the standard of living, there are 5 parameters given by the global index. I don't want to ask you all those things, but recently the same index prepared by NITI Aayog, they have added one more parameter for living standard.
Yes, sir. But I'm not able to recall, sir. But I know that they have an additional parameter.
With banking inclusion, opening a bank account.
Okay, sir.
This is also one of the
Parameters in
it's about cooking fuel, then you have a place to live, all those areas. But this is one that has been added. Okay. Now coming back to our various measures are there for improvement, like the right to education. That Act provides for admission of 25% in every school from what you call vulnerable groups, but socially and economically vulnerable groups. How this act is implemented? Do you think it will be done properly or not? If not, why? What are the issues?
Yes, sir. There are issues in the implementation of the Right to Education Act, sir. So one of the issues, as you have mentioned, sir, there is a scheme of around 25% involvement, enrollment of vulnerable people in the locality with respect to any private school, sir. But what issue is that, sir? It has been misutilized by some empowerment families, wherein they usually give some donation to in order to misuse the official 25% seats, sir. So what had to be done is that, sir, periodic auditing by this district education department in letter and spirit, sir, and also having a surprise check, and also having a better implementation over checking whether they are actually vulnerable society by checking the documents have to be monitored, sir. And apart from strict regulations, sir, the poor people has to be given awareness that this 25% is your quota and has to be efficient.
I have 2 more questions in this regard. Sir. Number 1, if you are an education officer, how you will use technology, how you will use digitization or computer in implementing the RT, right to education? 1. Number 2, what kind of action can be taken against defaulters?
Sir, to better implement the use of digitalization with respect to right to education, sir, as right to education focus mainly upon the 6 to 14 years of people, sir, what I perceive is that, sir, giving additional smart room classes to each and every village, that is the main criteria, sir. We may have smart classroom in district headquarters, but what we need, sir,
you have not understood my question. My question is, please, if you are an education officer, how you leverage the technology, okay, like computers, digital database, everything, to properly implement the RT?
Okay, sir.
Number 1. Number 2, what kind of action can be taken against that or non-doers?
So I would make sure that smart classrooms are made into more complex and vulnerable rural areas, sir. First one, sir. And second one, sir, what I will perceive is that, sir, in every villages there should be implementation of various internet centers so that the easy access of the people and teacher and teachers and also the various NGOs coupled with the parents can be done in an effective manner. Because what I perceive is that, sir, one of the major reasons RT is that there is a teacher meeting, but all the parents of the students are mostly have daily wages, so they are not unable to attend the teachers meeting. So having a public space where they can effectively only contribute by using digital internet facility will be a better step, sir. And second question is that, sir, about the defaulters, sir. So the first thing in respect to default is that a strict implementation of the law, sir. So that has been implemented letter and spirit, sir. So giving them memos and also making sure that they pay to they adhere to according to the regulations of the committee has to be made, sir. Since strengthening the public by giving them that, sir, these are the rights that you can ask against the defaulters, so that there can be complaint registering mechanism and grievance redressal, sir.
Climatic changes have affected the geography of India. Is my statement correct or incorrect?
Is correct, sir. The reason is that, sir, in many terrains, sir, the geography decides the international boundaries, sir. For example, with respect to the porous borders, the river acts as the geographical territory with respect to Myanmar. So
you can specifically talk about Himalayan region,
yes, sir.
southwest monsoon, northeast monsoon.
Yes, sir.
That will be more appropriate.
So, southeast and northeast monsoon, sir, with respect to borders.
How the climate change is
affecting the borders, sir.
Not borders.
Okay, sir.
The climate change is affecting the Himalayan ecosystem.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
When it is affecting the northeast monsoon, southwest monsoon.
Yes, sir. As you told, sir, we have the largest water tower in Himalayas, that is Hindu-Kush Himalaya, sir. And it's perceived, sir, by 2100, if the climate change continues the present phenomena, there will be 2/3 of the Himalayan will be melted, sir. So, since the water tower and also acts as a various water for the Ganga, Satluj and Brahmaputra, climate change will will lead to various catastrophic like water stress and also the loss of aquifers, sir. So coupled with that, sir, failure of monsoon with respect to that also will lead to many droughts and heat waves in the effects, sir. So not only we have since our Indian rivers are mainly glaciers melt and also rainfed, sir, climate change affect both the glaciers and also the rainfall, sir.
Okay, fine. My last question for the day. The government of India has now planned to fence the double fencing of the India-Myanmar border. Earlier it allowed 15 kilometers free pass. Now it is closing that and doing it. What is the urgency for it?
Sir, it has been in the pipeline for the near past, sir. So the need for urgency is that, sir, rising occasions of increase in refugees, militancies due to the ongoing civil war in Myanmar, sir, and also increase in drug trafficking, since the youth at the border areas are using a drug as a form of employment, sir. So since that the increasing war at the Myanmar, it aggravated the disasters in internal security, sir. That's why the Ministry of Home Affairs has thought to fence the around 1,672 borders of Myanmar, sir.
I'll give more explanation at the end.
Sure, sir. Grateful, sir.
Yeah. So you are a weightlifter.
Yes, sir.
How do you differentiate between the categories snatch versus clean and jerk?
Sir, snatch refers to the event wherein the barbell loaded with weight plates has to be taken above the head in a single attempt without bending your elbow, sir. So for that we will use a wide grip with respect to the barbell, sir. And with respect to clean and jerk, sir, when relatively compared with snatch, the barbell will be loaded with a lot more weights, sir. So in order to lift more weights in a single attempt, what they do is that, sir, first there will be two steps. One, clean. So lifting the barbell from the ground level to the shoulder first, sir. And that's with respect to jerk, sir, from the shoulder level to the above the head, sir. So with respect to weightlifting, adding the more weight with respect to snatch and clean and jerk will account the medal tally, sir.
What's your record for snatch and clean and jerk?
Sir, in my years of doing the weightlifting, sir, with respect to snatch, sir, I lifted around 88 kgs, and with respect to clean and jerk, it was around 102 or 3 kgs, sir.
That's nice. Good.
Thank you, sir.
There is an issue going on between India and Maldives. Why does a hydrographic survey figure prominently in that?
Sir, there are many multifaceted uses of hydrographic survey, sir. although there is a legitimate reason of measuring the water surface temperature, water ocean bed parameters, sir, it can also be used to identify the submarine location in the ocean. Apart from that, sir, it can also be used by connecting to internet. By connecting with the satellite. It also presents how our naval ships are guarding the EEZ, sir. So it will compromise our location of naval supremacy in the region, sir. So that is why in the cover of hydro observation parameters, we are in concern with respect to the Chinese vessels, sir.
No. Why did the Chinese come in between? What went wrong with our diplomatic efforts?
Sir,
We had a head start over the Chinese, right? We have a historic legacy between Maldives and Indians. We have a lot of good relationship. What went wrong?
Sir, I believe that, sir, due to the regime change in Maldives, wherein there was a India Out campaign, which was been carried out by the present president, Moizu, sir, Honorable President Moizu. It made a change where it was a pro-China government and led to, in order to have a better stand over these various trade, economy and security, it moved towards China, sir. So since China used this opportunity, and also recent past, Sri Lanka prevented the port of call for the Chinese vessel. So China used this opportunity to have its port of call to Maldives, sir.
Can we call this as a failure of Indian diplomatic, course?
Sir, what I perceive is that, sir, it is one of the drawback, but I won't call it as failure, sir. Because in any nation, be in the Maldives, sir, there was a periodic occurrences of pro-India and also pro-China campaigns, sir. So every 5 years it repeats, sir. But the success of Indian foreign diplomacy with respect to Maldives, what I think is that, sir, Maldives are given time till March 15 to remove the Indian Navy personnel and other security staff with respect to Dornier aircraft, sir. So the leverage of time gave us India the ultimate period to decide our foreign policy, sir. Due to this only, recently our budget has increased to around $770 million with respect to 770 crore from the past 440 crores, sir. So this diplomacy will also take us forward, sir.
See, historically, every new president, when he took office, would visit India as the first port of call, right? So we had a huge, harmonious relationship. But now you're talking about few days, weeks to work on diplomacy. We have had huge, diplomatic advantage. Why did it slip out is my question. How did we even allow this India Out campaign to become such a major issue? Could we have not done something about it diplomatically?
Sir, it is an internal politics, an internal issue of the Maldives, sir. And as India primarily focused not to interfere in other countries' matters, sir.
Maybe that's all fine. That's all on the paper. But diplomacy is about making inroads into every country's affairs. Every country is playing. Every country is a sovereign country, but every country allows other country to play its, whatever share of politics inside. So, can we say that, it's not my affair, it's their affair. I'm willing to be booted out. That doesn't happen like that.
True, sir.
So, diplomacy is what? We need to always maintain cordial relationship with every other country, most importantly, our own neighbors.
True,
right? Sir. So, in that context, I would like to know, would you call this a failure of India's diplomacy?
Sir, I firmly believe that I won't call it a failure of Indian diplomacy still, sir.
Why?
Because in this scenario, since it's a regime change, and also after the even although the president went to the China, sir, I read an article that first he thought to have a visit to India. But however, he went to Turkey and China instead, sir. So I think it's not a failure of Indian diplomacy. And also, with respect to India Out campaign, sir, still the president seeks that, although he perceives to be a big brotherly attitude of India, sir, it still feels that in order to have a better security in the region, sir, he should have a better significance of India in also, sir. But he does not want India to be in its internal affairs, sir.
See, India is in the forefront of the Colombo Security Conclave, right? And the meeting was convened, and exactly when the meeting was convened, the Maldives president went to China. Do you still, go by that article which you read?
Sir, the Colombo conclave is based on the security parameters, sir.
Right.
But what I perceive is that diplomacy, apart from the security, sir, focus upon the humanitarian aid, sir. Focus upon the trade, sir. Focus upon the cultural ties. Focus upon the tourism aspect, sir. Since Maldives has a better economy with respect to the tourism, sir, one of the largest chunks of population of the tourists is Indian, sir. So I think, sir, Indian diplomacy still holds good, sir, with respect to Maldives in terms of various education courses and apart from the cultural ties, sir.
After the social media storm that enveloped, you still think that India is the first market for Maldives, and you still that through tourism we can establish diplomacy again?
Sir, apart from tourism, sir, what I think is, sir, there is social issues, sir. But India has been a perennial source for the humanitarian aid, sir. If I could elaborate, sir, when India Out campaign was at high peak, sir, and there was an Operation Neer, where India had to give them a huge containers of drinking water supply, although there was a long time peak of India Out campaign, sir. That makes us successful in the supporting for pro-India campaigns, sir. So India always go for foreign diplomacy, although there is a small issues in that, sir. In the long run, sir, Indian foreign diplomacy will always hedge its corners with respect to the neighborhood, sir.
All right, my final question. Why is this huge obsession for film stars as CM candidates in Tamil Nadu? Because though Tamil Nadu is a very well-developed state, educationally it's one of the beacons of hope for the whole country. So on the one hand, you have great, literary giants and great amount of industrial growth and all that. But on the other hand, you are still, going after these film stars. Don't you have better people, to choose?
Sir, recently there are rising film stars who are opting for film politics, sir. But however, sir, we have a very large history of film stars being part of the Indian Tamil Nadu politics and all being successful in that, sir. One of the reason I say what I perceive is that, sir, in the earlier periods of time, sir, one of the main event that entered into the rural parts of India in each and every village is the film movie, sir. Because that in those periods there was very less movies, and also the predominant stars like MGR, respected Karnanidhi, and also the respected Jayalalitha used to have various acceptance over the people that led them to the politics, sir. So that's why the name of Tamil Nadu to have a major cinema stars to be coming into politics is a predominant feature, sir. With respect to recent feature, what I perceive is that, sir, everyone having their democracy to join politics. Since as a cinema, they're having more number of followers with respect to that, they have the actors are motivated to use that platform to enter into the politics to have a better ahead in their curve, sir.
Okay. Venkateshwaran, the interview part, we will give you the feedback.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, Venkateshwaran, first I would like to say the plus point. Your pleasant demeanor, the way in which you are dressed up, because you are already in IB, so you are moving with the very senior officers, you know what to do. So the expectations are there. Your knowledge, broadly, your knowledge is sometimes it is over-utilized. The kind of information that you have, you're flooded with a lot of information. These are all plus points. So communication, your body language, everything is very good. So the point here which I mentioned some concern is, again I would like to mention that you try to spill out so much of information which are not warranted. It's something like writing the main answer. So please deviate from that. Just stick to, you're making a discussion and a conversation. Go about and take it casually and inform, right? The way in manner you are explaining is very good. But, that kind of NIOT, trying to explain what is NIOT doing, it's NIOT's job, those things are not required. Exactly what is the thing that you have learned, what it is important. Right? NIOT, we'll also understand. There is no need for explaining it's NIOT's expansion. Okay, now, then with regard to the Myanmar border, which I asked, the question you should look, every time I say, urgency. There is always a need for what you call fencing. Even America wants to have a fencing with Mexico. We have already almost done fencing on our Pakistan border. double fencing, the fencing type. So the same fencing we have not done in Myanmar because it is porous. And also, because people are all crossing 16 kilometers, they have been allowed to do travel, the familial engagement. Tribals are having their own relationship. But here, today, why the urgency has come, why the government is going about, is because the Myanmar is under a military junta. So the military junta is slowly losing power. And many of the small pockets of the local people or insurgent group are taken charge, which means matter cannot be taken to the government of Myanmar. Already we are not in touch with them, right? We don't have diplomatic touch. We don't antagonize them because of neighborhood policy, or foreign policy will not permit that. At the same time, now it becomes a problem. So that is why India is going to consult. This is very important. Why urgency? You are explained about need, what we are doing, but an urgency. And as regards the sir was asking questions about Maldives. It's a beautiful question. You have a lot of information, you are providing a lot of information. But you should also say the trigger points. He gave an indication about social media. Right? When we are trying to be, sometimes, you have your law, you have your other elements, diplomatic relations, everything is happening. But you have to keep in check about, making comments. The first time when the Prime Minister went to Lakshadweep, trying to project many people, they posted actually not Lakshadweep, they posted pictures of Maldives and started saying, we have the same facilities, come to us. Then right from, some person like Sachin Tendulkar started making what is called tweeting on the X platform. So see, this is the creating unnecessary thing where it should have been controlled. And as you said, you should say that relationship is always dynamic. International relations very dynamic. And it is always, India should be careful enough to see. But China is the big brother by this side. So they will likely to influence through the Belt and Road Initiative, which we don't have, right?
Yes,
so they're trying to influence through that money. And as you said, the countries will have their own agenda to follow, every party will have. But it is our duty to protect our interests.
Yes, sir.
So there is a sort of, you can always say, sir, we are not paying it. But we have not properly taken proper action to make an amendment. But at this stage, the first neighborhood first policy, will have to ensure that Maldives is very, very important for us from military point, from
strategic.
What is that?
Strategic interest.
Strategic interest. I like kind of sea route, they
use the right words.
Very important. So we don't want to lose it. So not really, the human, as you said, HAD, human assistant, and you are giving vaccine and everything. They are all is there. Still, it doesn't mean that they are going to be faithful to you. You need to, in international relations, keep track of what is happening every day. So that you have to mention that. Otherwise, I have no problem. All your answers are very good. No problem. I would request rather, don't give
elaborate points.
Try to restrict.
Expand.
So you will be able to give more replies to more questions.
Sir. Okay, I'll take off from where sir said, because regarding the Maldives, you actually came to the right point. See, China has got deep pockets. It has got huge money, which we don't have. And with that money, it is attracting all these small countries who are in desperate need of funds for their infrastructure development. Though India is also investing, but it pales into insignificance when compared to what China is able to do, because it's a global economic superpower now.
Yes,
it can spend a lot of money. And it wants to encircle us. So therefore, it is spending a lot of money on all our small neighbors so that it can park its, defense equipment on our doorsteps. So that being said, it doesn't stop us from going on a diplomatic, idea. Because people-to-people contact only we experience. Chinese don't. Chinese are like foreigners to Maldivians.
Yes, sir.
Whereas Indians, ethnically, we are all very, very similar.
Yes, sir.
And long historical thing is there. So in diplomacy, that can be leveraged. So this can be a small slip up in this relationship, but we still have a long road to travel, and our diplomatic efforts, we have to keep at it and create this person to person.
Yes, sir. We have that leverage.
We have that. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
track to diplomacy, there is a lot of scope.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And to that extent, we should have a handle on the social media, this storm that is being raised by Tom, Dick and Harry, who are actually creating more trouble for us. Understand? So our diplomacy should be both in dealing with the Maldivians as well as in dealing with our own people. There should be a certain kind of a gag saying that you cannot make these kind of comments which will further, because fundamental rights says no, limitations are there.
Foreign policy.
Yeah. In those matters, you should not allow these people to go, because every Tom, Dick and Harry says, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. If we bloody sneeze, the Maldives will, kind of, drown, all kinds of. So you should have a control over all that. You should, because social media actually leads to more, heartburn between two nations. Though diplomacy is going on, even China knows that it has to pump in a lot of money to separate we two nations, and Maldives will try to play India card to get more money from China. These are all minor aspects of diplomacy. Maldives knows that culturally we are more similar, they are far.
Yes, sir.
But using this India card, going there first, Muizu wants more money from China.
Yes, sir.
So that is in their, always diplomacy is your national interest is superior.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they will do everything, but we also have to do everything in our national interest. We should not allow any toehold for China into Maldives. So kindly read up a lot of articles on that and try to come out with a balanced, statement saying that it's just a small, this thing. We'll overcome that. We have long relationship with them, and Maldives stands to lose a lot more than India in this, if it were to,
Go in China.
move into the Chinese fold, because we have seen that whoever went into Chinese folds were left impoverished,
Yes, sir.
became slaves, and Maldives knows it very well. So our diplomacy should be to keep pegging at it so that Maldives sometimes realizes that we are better than China. Something like that.
Right, sir.
Venkateshwaran,
Sir.
you're good. Only one additional point I want to tell you when I talk about security in our borders. You have not covered one border, which is borderless.
Borderless, sir. Space and weaponization of space.
See, space is getting weaponized.
Yes, sir.
There is so much of invisible. As of now, it is invisible. When the land borders is visible, the threat is visible, security issues are dominant. But space is getting weaponized. And then, one more area where the threat can come. Because you are an IT man and your interest is security. One more area, cyber.
Yes, sir.
All around, 360 degrees. If you give this answer, you stand out. That's very, very important.
Yes, sir. Apart from the traditional security issues,
And
sir.
borders, maritime borders, you covered. Good. See, generally, I would advise when you want to talk about security issues in and around us, you go geographical, or you go start with Gujarat, then you go to Pakistan, you go to China, Afghanistan, bigger borders, but it is in POK, Bihar. Then you come to China, then you come to Nepal, you come to Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, you're covered. The whole land borders we have covered. You go in an order, then they will know that here is Venkateshwaran who is so organized in his presentation. It's a presentation.
Yes, sir.
Make it ornamental. When is your interview?
March 7, sir.
March 7. Okay. You have
1 month.
one more month, 30 days. You do that. You know all the answers, most of the questions. Do some refinement, some ornamentation. Your presentation should be unique. It should not be like the presentation of ABC. It should be A+. Understand what I am trying to say?
Outstanding.
Yes. Because we want outstanding. Yes. That's what UPSC is looking at. When they say outstanding, they will grab. So you have to stand out. Don't give the run-of-the-mill answers. I also noticed, since you know so much, you were in a hurry to spill out everything. No, we don't want. main, you said main, no? Like the main question. We meant as if you're answering the main, you're giving the answer. No, we don't want that. It is not to test your knowledge. That's a discussion. To the point. To the point. Personality, how much you reveal when you give the presentation. Okay? Right.
And too many sirs. So many sirs.
That when you are in service, it's
In one sentence, I heard about 3 or 4 sirs. Interspersed with so many
try to
sirs.
suppress that for a time being.
You have to.
If you make it conscious, it will suppress.
Understood, sir.
Put your mind.
Since in IB,
Go
you
back
should
to
talk with
the-
others.
That is the IB, but this is not IB. So this is a very, it's as sir was saying, no, it's a discussion. It's a very fruitful discussion. They want to know how much, you can contribute to this discussion. But if you come across like a subordinate, it doesn't, give them that feeling about you.
Okay.
So you have to, you start with the sir. Like if the question is asked and then you say, yes, sir. What I think about this is, what you say, what I think, sir, about this is no, sir.
Accept it. Accept.
Don't want that.
Understood.
Get over that. Explain one word, sir. And you are called Mauritian.
Maldives, sir.
Sir, Maldives. We are talking about Maldives. When the comments were made by few ministers. The reaction should be done by either a minister or by our NSA or our, the minister concerned or the prime minister. That means the people in that power, right? But instead, the reaction has come from
City stars,
various people who are all
cricketers, what nothing to
socially
do with this.
influencing people.
Tourist operators, what role they come to play?
Banning flights. Already, damage is
Say
done.
that, sir, it is not at all correct because this will create unnecessary problem for our Indian foreign policy. We need to check because simply because you have a Twitter handle, whatever you want, you cannot write. There should be a proper restriction because the Constitution puts
Restrictions.
under Article 19(2)(b), right? Then the restriction article under 19(2) that you have to mention. The geography, you could have mentioned better how the Himalayas are affected and how the southwest monsoon this time got affected. The northeast.
Impact of climate change.
El Nino,
Yes.
how it was continuously for 3 years brought lesser rainfall for India. That's why it is generally about Indian geography. Indian geography means various geographical areas, how they are. Otherwise, all fine.
You want to ask us any questions?
So, no question, sir. So, what about the emotional intelligence, sir? So, do I look like I took something personal with respect to any Maldives or internal security issue? Since if I'm from IB, sir. So, since there are many security questions that have been put forward by the panel, sir, do I look like I took the questions to my personal intention, sir? Like, because since I'm from IB, it is a negative point, I think. I should speak like by keeping the IB person outside of me, right? Right, sir?
It definitely, you shouldn't go walk into the interview room as an IB person. You should walk in as a candidate. And the questions are academic questions. You should deal with them academically.
Then, okay.
Don't give
I
official statement.
won't suggest you to appear as an IB man inside.
Yes.
You only appear as an aspirant working in IB, which means you have better knowledge than others. Some questions are asked answered.
That's why I said, looking at your IB man,
Right. Yes, you had mentioned, sir.
Don't go with that mindset.
Sure.
You are a fine candidate, you can do very well.
You can do well. Do some refinements, as we pointed out.
Prioritizing the points and having a short answers.
When we gave the opportunity to ask a question, you are making a big statement. Make a small question directly.
Use keywords.
Should I look like an IB man inside or should I look like a candidate? That's all.
Okay, right now. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good day, sir.
All the best.